Supposed to be at work in 13 minutes. I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna just be running, and I don't like running. But yeah, it's so good to practice introspection. I was practicing some introspection today, and I mean I always practice introspection. Honestly, I sometimes I probably overthink things, but I don't know. I try to be a thoughtful person. So I woke up this morning and I was focusing on how I was treated yesterday at sick call. Yesterday I went to sick call, and even though I showed up at like 7:20 ish, I still was like I probably was like the when I came there, let's put it like this, there was 3 people or 2 people there already. Now, the clinic doesn't schedule any appointments during sick call time. It's just emergency, like first come, first serve, or something like that. And so I went in there, and I sat there probably, once I finished my paperwork, it was like 7:40, and it was earlier than that. I don't know. But I sat in there for like an hour, and I watched people come after me and get called back before me. And we're all here at sick call. But there was some in uniform, like the uniform of the day. I was in uniform as well. I was in my PT uniform, but I was nonetheless in uniform. I outranked most of the people there. There was a lieutenant colonel that was there. But whatever. I just observed, like, and I started forming these things in my mind, like injustices. Like, why am I waiting still? And why is this and why is that? And I was like thinking on that. And in my head I was just like, whatever, typical. But that put me in like a negative mind frame. And then when I finally got called back to see the doctor, I actually never saw the doctor. Hi, Himothy, the third. Hello, Sheena. And just because I'm driving to work and I'm gonna probably jump out and run, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be much in the chat. I'm just vlogging right now. But y'all can keep going, and I appreciate y'all. And thumbs up too. But so I stopped. No, I went back, and I actually never saw the doctor. After I went up there, one thing that ticked me off, there were 3 people when I first came up to the desk. There was a young black lady on the left, there was an older black lady in the middle, and there was a white woman on the right. Doesn't matter, right? Okay, I'm just saying that just to say it. I noticed that after 8 o'clock, the young black lady on the left, who took my information and took my paperwork, she left, and I didn't see where she went. And then when I went and like when I went up there first, I was looking left, because all of them became open at the same time. So I looked left, middle, and right, and nobody said anything. Nobody was like, "Good morning, sir. Can I help you?" Or "What do you need?" Or nothing. I wasn't greeted, so I was just like left, middle, right, left, middle, right. And then the young lady, she was kind of like the most welcoming, and so I just went to her. It was like the lady on the left and the lady on the right, they were kind of the most, but the middle-aged lady, I dealt with her before, and she gave off like different, let's call it different energy. And I don't like energy because I'm not into that like new age stuff, but she gives off let's put it like this, she gives off a different, or I pick up something different from her. Like, she don't really want to be bothered. That's what it feels like when I'm interacting with her. She doesn't want to be bothered with me. And maybe that's just me. I'm projecting. I don't know. But anyway, so that's what happened when I first went in there. And then when I went up after an hour later of not being called, the lady in the middle, she act like she never saw me the entire day. And I was, thank you for that, Edward. I was like, I just saw you when I walked up here like an hour ago. But like, I was like, are y'all still doing sick call? Because, everybody left and it was different and I hadn't been called back. And she was like, oh, yeah, you're going to have to come back tomorrow. And then the white lady on the right, she recognized me. And she's like, no, you don't have to come back tomorrow. I got your paperwork over here. And then I kind of picked up that they forgot about me. And so literally 3 minutes after I went up to the front desk, they had one of the techs come out and he calls me back. He called me back there and I tell him all my story and stuff. And normally what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to take your vitals. That's the first thing they do. And then they go and talk to the doctor. And they get your chief complaint and then they take all of that stuff to the doctor. Then the doctor is prepped, briefed, and the doctor comes in and the doctor starts to go over whatever it is that you're going through. That didn't happen yesterday. One, the blood pressure cuff on my arm, I guess I'm a little buff or whatever, and like it gave an error message. And so I actually have noticed recently that my blood pressure, because I'm taking different medications, my blood pressure has changed. It's not like high, but I used to have like low blood pressure or good blood pressure, like below 120, below 80, systolic and diastolic. And then I noticed recently it had not been below 120. It been one time it was like 140. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And usually it's when I'm under stress or pain. And so I was curious, but he never tried it again. He's like, whatever. And I noticed that he was distracted, and he seemed tired. He said he was tired, exhausted. That's what he said. The tech. I'm like, bro, the morning just started. How are you exhausted? Sound like some bad decisions or whatever. But anyway, and the doctor never came back, and he gave me 1 day of sick call. It was like, hey, if you, because now remember, Monday was a sick day for me. And Tuesday, which was yesterday, was the me going in the sick call to get some more time. I feel like normally they give you like 72 hours, but for whatever reason, I was given 24 hours. And I told him, I said, hey, last night I did take a COVID test because my entire household is sick. And so that's what I did. But it came back negative. Now, the things say, if it's negative, just retest in 48 hours because you might get a different answer. And I didn't do that. But the tech came back. He told me, he was like, hey, yeah, you got 24 hours quarters, and they prescribed you Mucinex, and they said use some salt water rinses. And I did that salt water rinse last night early in the morning because my throat was killing me. And bro, it unlocked this childhood memory. I remember we used to have, and my sister, when she watched this, she gonna know what I'm talking about. We used to have like these plastic cups, like big cups, and they had like some red writing on them or red image on it. But I remember my pops would fill that up. Hey, how you doing? Good. All right, you too. Be lethal. And so my pops would fill that up with salt water. And he didn't just use like some salt in there. Like that water was salty. It was like somebody dipped it in the river and said, here, drink this. Or the ocean. The ocean, I think, is salt water. And like, here, drink this. And so that got unlocked because I couldn't breathe. And I would hate it because, like, as a kid, I had to drink the whole cup. And I couldn't just, like, drink it. I had to do... And I was doing that forever. I was doing that last night, and I was like, oh, PTSD is kicking in heavy right now. And so I woke up this morning, and I was complaining. And I was like, you know what? I really don't know why I'm complaining. Because I'm a believer. Now, does that mean as a believer that you're not supposed to complain? You're not supposed to be upset? If you see something wrong, you're supposed to act like it's not wrong, everything is good, and just put on some rose-colored glasses? No. That's not what you do as a believer. But the scriptures say, and I can't remember, I looked it up, but I think it's in 1 Thessalonians, it talks about giving thanks in every situation. And I said, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's your job as a believer. It's 7:57. I'm late. And the new commander is up in this piece, and I'm about to come up in there late. That's crazy. Sometimes they say when you late, just don't even go. If you're going to show up, it's better than not even go than to show up late. But I'm going to go up in there late as a mug. But anyway, yeah. So the believer is not like acting like things don't exist and everything is good. Lord, my leg got cut off, but because I got diabetes and it's out uncontrolled. But Lord, I thank you because my leg is cut off. It's not like that. The believer is supposed to have this mindset that, God, this is tough. This hurt. And I don't like it. But just like you cried right before you raised Lazarus from the dead. That's like one of my favorite scriptures as a kid. Jesus wept. They always try to get you to do a scripture in church. And there was some kids that used to know like a lot of scripture, like long scriptures. And me, I was like, Jesus wept. And that's probably my favorite scripture, honestly. Jesus wept. He cried. And like, you can feel your feelings. But the faith part says, even though this sucks and I don't like it, I trust God. And so, I'm going to let that sit. Woo! Even though I don't like it, I trust God. And so, God, you good. You allow me to go through it. You got a purpose in it. I don't have to understand it, but there's purpose in it. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm living on purpose. I could be complaining because I'm going to my job feeling like trash and all that, but hey, guess what? Some people don't have jobs. How about that there? Some people don't have money. Some people, if they don't work, they don't eat. You get paid leave. So stop complaining. Get up there. Yes, you feel like you got the flu or something bad, but get on in there, present arms, and get after it. So thank y'all for joining my little TED Talk. I hope y'all have been blessed by this because I was having them thoughts and it blessed me. Y'all have a blessed one.